It's pretty much the same thing every year. You talk, you laugh, you enjoy yourself, but seemingly towards the end of the year, you want change. Kinda like last year, you wanted to learn how to play an instrument and you also wanted to spend less money. And just like last year, all you did was say a bunch of words to comfort yourself while living a life where you're more comfortable than unsatisfied. One of the problems that we seem to have in this modern age is simply just change. Change is essentially a fundamental part of our human existence. And because of this, we need change in our society and the things that we do too. But it seems that not too many people in any time period are willing to change. It almost seems extremely human to not want to change. So when I start hearing people talk about what they want to change about themselves in the new year, I typically end up seeing a lot of the same trends where it's a lot more talking and less action. See, from the beginning of the year, I was on vacation. Where to, though? Well, I went home. For most people, going back home is a great experience. You get to see family, you get to interact with the people that you haven't seen since you were probably a baby. You get to eat good food, and on top of that, you're loved and welcomed by people who haven't seen you for so many years. But for me, it wasn't really the best experience. I can assure you, for the first 4 days of my vacation, I quite literally did nothing. And when I say I didn't do a single thing, I can assure you I did absolutely nothing. My daily routine was literally sleeping, eating, and then going back to sleep again. And real talk, for most people that's not even a bad life. But for me personally, that is quite literally suffering. I'm the type of person who likes going outside and interacting with the world that I'm a part of. And real talk, in that type of space, I genuinely could not. And the craziest part about it is usually what I do to pass time, especially when I'm not doing anything, is scrolling.
No! There's no way out of this.
And I couldn't even do that. There was no power in the crib up until 10 p.m. and they turned off the power at 7 a.m. And in this time, just like any normal, functioning, smart, modern human person, I found myself a corner, I recorded a voice memo, and I complained.
Like existing in a dirty ass room with a hard ass bed that no one's lived in for 7 years. Mind you, there's cobwebs everywhere. It's fucked up for my sinuses. The water that comes out of the tap is literally dirty. Like, you can't drink it. Nigga, I've been showering in a bucket for 2 days. I'm struggling. I haven't seen nothing. I don't know nothing. And the more and more I ask to anyone about this situation, no one gives me an answer. So to be honest, I don't know how to feel except for being upset that I'm even here. For us to be living in bumblefuck nowhere, to be washing our clothes and our bodies in buckets of dirty water that nobody can drink out of. Mind you, you can't drink out the water. Why are we washing our bodies in?
And when I stopped complaining, I ended up realizing that the only company that I had apart from my family was myself and my own thoughts. And in my own thoughts, in that moment alone, I genuinely felt like I was going crazy. There was genuinely a point in time where I was drifting into my own world in my own little headcanon. And the problem is that I was separating myself from reality and what was going on around me. And in this moment, I genuinely thought of only 2 things that I could truly do in this time period, which was either to read a book or to go out of my way and write. And since I personally hate reading books, I chose to write. Now see, the reason why I brought up this story was because of the change in perspective, just because of the fact that I was in a completely different setting to what I usually am in. And now see, because of this change in setting, it kind of developed and improved the way I make videos as a whole. I genuinely feel like my process for video making and many other things in my own personal life is completely different now. On my vacation, it genuinely gave me time for me to self-reflect. Not only on my own personal issues and what I'm dealing with, but also in how I exist in this world and how I interact with it as well too. Time alone is extremely important. Time alone guides us and it leads us to what we should be seeing in ourselves. And it also opens up your perspective of the world around us. And see, that's only if you're willing to go deep enough. And just like everything in this world, you have to do it in moderation. I personally believe that if you give yourself enough time, you should almost always be open to change. That personal time to yourself can open up a lot in your own mind to a lot of things that even you probably didn't know about yourself either. But now see, this is one thing that I genuinely want y'all to understand, because now that it's coming to the new year, a lot of y'all are thinking about becoming new people, learning new skills, working a new job, and many different things under the sun. But now see, when it comes down to it, you're probably doing the change thing incorrectly, and I can't even lie, you're choosing to start changing at the start of the year, which is probably some of the dumbest stuff I've ever heard in my damn life. Cause real talk, if you're choosing to change at the end of the year, or even the start of the next year, I can't even lie, you have your priorities completely mixed up. Change has always been intentional, and for a lot of folks, it takes a lot of time to deal with the fact that you're going to be changing. So if you're already in a comfortable position, I know for a fact your brain is not willing or wanting you to change anything, especially when it's safe right now. For me to change, it took a drastic situation that ripped me out of my own comfort zone and pulled me into the real world. Mind you, I'm not talking about my vacation, but I know for a lot of y'all can relate to the fact that when you're truly changed in your life, you was probably put in a serious situation where you had to choose your old life, the old you, or the unknown. And for a small group of people, I know for a fact y'all chose the unknown, but most people obviously don't really choose that option. But when you do want to change, it's typically a choice, and at the end of the day, you truly have to choose either to stay the way you was living before or do something completely different. You really can't put a number on how long it's actually going to take for you to change into a different person or even develop. That's not how that stuff works. We've got 364 days in a year, 52 weeks, and 12 months going on. And I can't even lie, in that time period alone, you have to go through a lot of development as an individual. The more drastic your bad habits are, the longer it's most definitely going to take, especially if you're not willing to change. One thing I really like to think about, especially in my day-to-day life, is the fact that I genuinely feel like I change and develop into a whole new different person every day. And I don't mean change in the sense where I'm picking up different personality traits and I'm acting like a whole different person. No, I don't mean it in that type of way. Peep, on my vacation, I felt like I couldn't do anything and I was constantly in my own head and I deadass was just stuck. But when I started writing and even sometimes indulging in poetry, it kind of felt like I was a whole different person. Like I was changing and developing into a completely different guy. And I feel like every month to even some days even, if I was to have a copy of me talking to me, real talk, it'd be a completely different conversation or headspace going on every time we talk. It'd be like talking to a different guy with different interests and different goals every time. And I feel like that's what truly encapsulates what actual change is. It shouldn't really be that you change at the end of the year or that you change on a specific certain time that you choose. I feel like you should be changing every single day. No year is different to the last. It's just how much effort you're putting into different things. So realistically speaking, if you genuinely wanted to change, you probably just do it right now. Rip it off like a band-aid and get it over and done with. Now see, because of this anecdotal experience, I truly gotta say, I genuinely don't believe that people just change because the year is different. To be completely honest, people don't really change until some messed up, inconvenient, or unfortunate thing happens to them in their lives to cause that change to happen. And now I'm not telling y'all to become masochists, but at the end of the day, if you truly want change in your life, either just go and do it, or just change the setting, move on and see what happens. Put some restrictions on yourself and see if these restrictions can actually improve what you got going on. And try new things. Get yourself out of your comfort zone, because at the end of the day, this year's gonna be great. You can't still be doing the same monotonous task over and over again like you was doing last year. In the clinical world, we call this insanity, but in my world, we call it insanity as well too. But like I said before, this year is going to be crazy, and I know for a fact that the content that I'm going to be posting as well too is going to be a lot more improved, a lot more personal, and probably even more artistic than I've ever done before. For the people who've been with me since last year, I thank you for everything that y'all have done. Y'all been watching my videos and supporting me from the jump. Like, I love you guys. And to the people that are coming in new, I hope you guys enjoy your time, and I hope you guys truly are able to learn something from my videos. But this is the end of the video. I hope y'all enjoy. God bless y'all and have a nice day. See, this is the first time I'm really doing this, and I really don't want to make it long, but I know what y'all gonna say. This is my first video in months, and yes, I was on vacation, but it's my first video in months, and it's about the new year, and it's a month into the new year. Peep, it's all good. Just stay set. There's gonna be new content, new everything. I love y'all. This faceless stuff is getting boring to me, man. I'm about to do some crazier stuff, but I hope y'all enjoy it. It's great. God bless again. Stay safe.